What's good, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? This is JDaisy with the JDaisy Gaming Channel, here with Sailaway, the sailing simulator. And in my own personal opinion, I really think they should just knock off that part and just call it the sailing simulator, or the sailboat simulator, or the racing boat simulator. One of the three sounds like a more befitting title. For full disclosure, I only played this this game for about an hour, if that, maybe 40 minutes. It is on Steam in early access, so that's another big, hey, big thing. It is early access, but as you know, with all early access games, what you buy at the time of buying, that's all you're guaranteed. So once you buy this game, that they could just stop development there, and technically you're not really getting gypped because you bought what was there. And that's what people like me are here for, to tell you what you get. Sailaway is a quote-unquote accurate sailing simulator. Pretty much you start on a sailing boat. That for someone like me that's played naval action and has a fond love of tall ships or large sailing ships, does not seem like it should be out in the open ocean, but it's a sailboat nonetheless. There are three different types. There's the wood boat, which I preferred because I like wooden boats. The sail ship, which is kind of like their main picture, and then a catamaran, which is just a different type of sail. All of them are sailboats and all act about the same, just with the riggings in different spots. The game is very difficult and has a very steep learning curve. I would be surprised if people that actually know how to sail even could pick it up right away without even thinking about it. There's a lot of mechanics going on. There's a lot of stuff you need to take in. There's a lot of stuff that is being shown to you in a tutorial that really doesn't explain it all the best that it could. I think that's one of the things they should really look into, is fixing that tutorial. As far as that goes. By the way, the game is $40 on Steam Early Access. I forgot to mention that. I believe it has very positive reviews. It came out on the 25th of April. And like I said, I played it for about 40 minutes. And after that, I was just kind of fed up. And the reason I say that is because it has such a very steep learning curve, and the tutorial tries and teaches it to you very well. They try their best to explain the basics of sailing, and it wasn't so much that kind of made me mad. We'll get into that in a second, but the tutorial does a very, if anything else, it does a good job at trying to explain to you how a sailboat works. That you can't just throw the sail into the wind and go, like a lot of people would just assume. Just throw it in, the wind will catch it, the boat will move, we'll all be drinking beer in no time. It does a good job at that. It teaches you, hey, sometimes you need to relax the sail. Sometimes you don't need to be going straight into the wind. Sometimes you need to be doing this or this or this. But as I mentioned, as someone that is a big fan of tall sailing ships, I like naval action is one of my favorite games of all time. I've always had a deep love for tall sailing ships. It's kind of disappointing to me that this is only like one person able to be done boats, or what I would consider these more yachts than anything, like a small yacht, personally speaking. But it'd be cooler if they expanded it to larger ships. I think would be cool. But like a big point of the game is the rigging, grabbing ropes and dynamically letting them out and reeling them back in as the wind currents hit your boat, as they change, as they go about doing what wind currents do. So there's a lot of trying to figure out that rigging system, where the sail needs to be, and the game's difficulty scales very well with that. I played the entire tutorial in probably about the first 20 minutes on the basic level, where you really don't have to worry about the rigging all that much. You're very much more concentrated on just, okay, this is where the sail needs to be, this is how I turn, this is all I do, and trying to figure that out. And then I tried, you know what, screw this. Let's just see what happens. I normally don't do this, but let's just throw it on to the hardest difficulty and see what happens. And oh man, that's what the later half of this video is. It's the part where I'm in nighttime, ironically. And nighttime is very dark. That's the part where you'll just see my sails are just flapping. It is very, very, very confusing to try and figure out which rigging goes to what pulley and what you need to do to even get the ship going. I imagine it takes quite a few of hours, if not tens of hours, to just move up the difficulty levels of trying to get it. So what do you do in this game? That's a great, great, great question. Well, you sail. And that's about it. It boasts a very large open world consisting of most of the Atlantic, it looked like, from what I saw on the map. And you can actually set this and walk away, it appears. It makes you sign up for an account, which I did. And like I said, I played the game, and I was messing around with the map, trying to get a heading to get to New York. And there was a teleport system, and I teleported to New York, and it glitched out my game, and I couldn't reload it. I'm still trying to figure out that technical issue, because every time I would load, it would load me in the mainland of New York, and I couldn't get out of it. But before that, like coming in and out, I finally got a little bit of it to work. And you could point it at, I want to go to off the coast of Spain, and then leave. And if your rigging was all set, it appeared it sailed without you, because I got an email about 20 minutes later saying, hey, your ship has reached this destination, is now anchored. So it appears that there is a very dynamic setting here, that you can set these ships to sail about, and they boast in the trailers, you can meet your friends, you can sail with your friends. But I think that's what the game is going to be lacking the most. As someone that plays a majority, if not solely, single-player games, which most of the time that's what these simulator games are. I'm not going to call this a German simulator, because it really doesn't have that feel. There's not a lot of Unity assets at play, per se. Sorry. I apologize for that literalness, but this is a multiplayer simulator game. And I give them props for trying to, no pun intended, sail those waters. I just don't think this is the right game to do it. There was a lot of downtime. Lucky for me, I watched YouTube or movies or Netflix, whatever, when I'm playing games, so it wasn't as annoying. But if this is you have a single screen or something, this is the one game you're playing at a time, that your sole focus, you're going to get bored real quick. Of course, you have, I got to watch the wind, and I got to watch my sail, and I got to watch where I'm going on the map and the chart and all that. But there's just nothing. I mean, if you don't know our planet, it's very large, and there's a lot of water. So if you're trying to sail, hypothetically from Spain to New York, that's your own personal goal for that day, you're looking at a lot of downtime of just watching water go by, and there's no battle, there's no anything. That's I compare it to Naval Action, because Naval Action is another large multiplayer sailing game, except that game, every time I sail for an extended period of times, I'm always watching the horizon, I'm watching around me, trying to make sure that there's no one coming up. There's a certain level of danger that keeps your attention. With this, there's no danger. Well, the sail's in the wind. 20 minutes later, yep, sail's still in the wind. And you don't know if you're glitched and you're just, going by the same one-by-one area. The map shows you're moving, but I think that's where this game falls short. And I like what it's trying to do. I love, like I keep saying, I love sailing. I love the aspect of the open ocean. I love all that. But I think at $40, this just falls really, really flat as far as a consumer trying to get that money's worth out of it. And it feels very well made. It feels like there's a lot of love, there's a lot of time and effort went into this, trying to make the model very well, trying to make the water, it's very beautiful. It works well. The ship is fairly reactive. There's a weird thing with mine where the main boom, as it moves, it kind of glitches over, doesn't just glide softly or move along a rope system. It just kind of glitches over like a wind or like an image loading. So that's kind of interesting. But like I try to not do this on this channel and tell you, this is worth $20, this is worth $30. I just give my own personal opinion of what I think the price point is relative. And I think that the price point on this is just set a little. I think the bar is set a little too high. I get it. It might have cost that much, and that's how much they need to sell per thing. It just seems very high for an early access game. It seems very high for this particular early access game. It might be $40 at open release, and that might be a fair point once they polish this up and kind of gotten it together. I bought it on day one because as soon as I saw it, I had to pick it up and see what was going on. But it just doesn't feel like it's ready for that open price point. It feels like an early access game that should have a discount price for getting into it early access. But that's my own personal opinion. Of course, you're always welcome to have yours. Maybe you're like, this is a game you've been looking for. This is your jam. You're like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for an accurate sailing simulator. I want to test this out. I love sailing in real life, and I want something I can do at home. Perfect. And this is probably a decent price point for you. You're probably excited that it's so cheap, quote unquote. Not trying to tell you how to spend your money. Never am. Never, ever, ever. But that's my own personal opinion, guys. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to leave them down in the comment box or on any of the social medias. And as always, we're all in this one together. See you in the next one.